Oh, oh, we're on. We're live. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Chris. I'm an outdoor loving gardener growing out of Zone 7B in New Jersey. And right now, we're in my sunroom because I am starting my own indoor winter garden. Yes, I'm very excited about this because I grew in the summer last year. I grew out of 8 raised garden beds, so I had a lot of space. I grew flowers and herbs and all kinds of vegetables. But we're growing out of this closed space in my sunroom. So if you're interested in growing your own food or you are just curious on the process, stick around because I'm going to be sharing tips as I go so that you too can be growing food in your house during these snowy, cold months. Okay, so we have to talk about something that's really important, and that is lighting. Lighting is the most important thing, and it's probably one of the most challenging parts of indoor winter gardening because during the winter we have shorter days, which means less access to sun, and we also have less intense sun. So when you're growing, it's always best to grow in front of a sunny window. But if you're growing in an area that doesn't have access to sunlight or very little access to sunlight, for example, a basement, a garage, bedroom, or closet, you can also still grow with the help of grow lights. For example, here we are by my indoor greenhouse, and we're still in my sunroom, but this greenhouse is not located by a window where it gets direct access to sun. For this reason, I'm using grow lights to germinate seeds. That way, when they grow, they will have light right above them. And a key thing with grow lights is that you still want to have those lights relatively close to the seedling because that can lead to your seedlings growing leggy as they try to reach for the sun or, reach for the light. I got mine off of Amazon for maybe about like 16, 17, 18 bucks, something like that. And it was a 2-pack. And there's all different kinds of setups here. But I had a 2-pack that came with these like clamp on lights. So it has a clip, but you can buy like a tabletop one or some that install overhead. That's what I would really like are the overhead kinds. But this one just has 2 prongs of lights or like light rods, I guess you could say, that are flexible. You can adjust them wherever you need them. It does have some intensity levels of the actual grow lights. So I'll adjust these right over top of my seedlings once these trays are filled and ready to grow. And then hopefully once they sprout, that's when you want to add your grow lights. Of course, you don't need grow lights if you just put the seeds in because the seeds are on the ground and they're getting dark. They need the dark, not the light at that point. But once they sprout, that's when you want to add the grow lights. Got it? Okay, so another thing you want to think about when it comes to indoor winter gardening is temperature. Now, during the day, for me, I'm growing in the sunroom. I get a lot of sun in here during the whole day and afternoon, and that's a really good thing. But along with that light, I also get free heat because this room is going to be trapping that warmth, and it actually makes this room so warm that even though there's snow outside right now, I can be in here comfortable in a t-shirt because of that warmth from the sun. When that sun goes down, it gets downright frigid in here. And so those warm days are great. Plants are going to love that. But those warm nights, while normal, are something you need to be aware of. Cold temperatures slow germination. So if you're starting seeds, it can take a longer time. Cold also slows root growth. So if you're growing something like radishes or beets, which I'm growing beets, I can expect them to grow, but I'm not expecting the full growth of a beet that I would get during the summertime. I'm looking for more of like a baby beet scenario than a full beet scenario. So with that said, I'm still going to grow them. You just want to manage your expectations. I'm getting new to this, you guys. I'm getting new. I'm brand new to this, but I'm learning and I'm learning fast. And that's why I like gardening because it encourages consistent learning the same way I like consistent growth. You know what I'm saying? Growth on growth, growth while growing, growing while growing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now, before I would just think of gardening as in ground gardening outside, but my definition of gardening has just expanded so much as I learned how people really grow their food. People are growing in raised beds, which is what I've upgraded to last year. You're growing in grow bags and pots, of course, and planters. But in 2026, I mean, last year I learned about y'all growing in green stocks and Vego beds. It has all the hookups and all that. I got to get with it. But I've seen on Threads, that's my new spot, by the way. Check me out at Outdoor Homegirl on Threads if you want to connect. But a lot of people have gotten one of these, and this is kind of like a smart device where you can grow vegetables. And so if you haven't seen one, it has these kind of openings here, like these 4 or 5 openings, and I don't know how it works. Honestly, I can't even speak to it because I don't know exactly how it works, but I know there's some pods that go in, and there's a grow light situation up at the top, and this actually raises up So that way your seedlings can grow, your seeds can sprout and grow into nice healthy plants, and you can adjust this light source up and down with the growth of your plants. It's really quite cool. I mean, I don't know a lot about it just yet, but just the concept alone is pretty awesome. I think this is great for people who might like techie things, gadget things. Also, people who just want something small and confined to grow in. And it's also great if you want to grow small and confined in your kitchen, but you don't have any light source. This is perfect. I really think anybody should go for it. So I'm growing in 10-inch pots. I have 2 over here that I already have full with soil, and I have three more over here that are relatively empty. They have drainage holes on the bottom. These are perfect. I like these because they allow me a little bit of space to experiment. Like I can do 1 or 2 small heads of lettuce in here, and they can be different varieties. So I like the size of these pots. I'm going to work with these for a while, but I also have considered using a planter because I picked up this planter randomly at Dollar Tree. See, and it came in black. They also have it in terracotta, and I bought it because it was only $3. I'm like, yeah, I think this might work in my sunroom, and I placed it here, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually a perfect fit. So I'm thinking about maybe getting another 1 or 2 and using them on the other 2 windowsills. I just have to drill some holes because drainage is a non-negotiable. You must have drainage. So I will drill like a hole or 2, maybe 2 or 3 actually. So that way this has drainage, fill it up with soil, and I plan on using this for herbs. I'm also growing out of some grow bags. I have 3 here that I brought in from outside that had peppers in it. So this one, and this one all had peppers that I have overwintered, pruned off all the leaves, pruned off most of the branches, leaving only the main stem and a couple of anchoring branches that will help create shape once spring comes around and it starts pushing out some new branches and some new leaves. In the meantime, though, I'm thinking of clearing away some of the mulch that's here and dropping in a few lettuce seeds, and we'll see what happens. Okay, one more thing before we get to talking about crop. I want to talk about watering because watering is probably the #1 beginner mistake when it comes to your indoor winter garden. Okay, so here's my beets. I can tell that some of the little crumbles are looking a little dry, looking a little ashy. It's a little gray. Okay, like what is that? That does not mean that the soil is dry. So if you want to test your soil, just know if it's dry or not, what you'd want to do, find a little area where there's not really anything growing. Okay, this little patch here looks good. There's nothing really growing in there. What you want to do is stick your finger down about 1 inch. Okay, that's going to be about around to your first knuckle, and just dig and look. I've dug just about 1 inch down, and I can see that this soil is still damp. What you want to do is that if the soil looks dry, it's probably not actually dry, it's probably just that the surface is drying out. Just use a spray bottle, spritz it down. That will moisten up the top without adding more water into the soil. Oh, and I'm also going to point out this cool little thing I bought at Dollar Tree, right? A belle cloche is just a covering that you can use to put over your plants so that way the moisture stays in, the sunlight can come in. So I used this when I was trying to germinate these seedlings by putting this on top and just opening the vent when I needed to help keep some kind of airflow going in here. Now, it did move around all over the place, like it wouldn't stay put. So I noticed that in this, there are these little holes, if you can see. There's one right there, and it's 3 of them, 3 little holes. So I took a skewer. I had these skewers in the kitchen, like skewers that you would use for like shrimp. And I broke it into 3 pieces, and I thought, you know what, those holes are skewer sized. So I put one here, I put one here, and I had another one that I put right through here. And now that pretty much stakes the belle cloche in place. And now look at it. Look at it. It looks like it's supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? Sunlight goes through, moisture stays in, my seeds germinated, and now they're growing. Okay, so now we're at the part of the video that we've all been waiting for, and that's to talk about what crops we can grow in this winter garden. Now, herbs are an easy one. Parsley, cilantro, scallions. That's what I'm growing. Spinach, lettuce, Swiss chard is a great one. I just started some Swiss chard seeds that just recently germinated. Another one you can do is arugula. I have this arugula here. It doesn't have a picture on it, but these are my arugula seeds. They're actually called slow bolt arugula. Like that's actually the name of it. But I love this because even though these my arugula won't be in any danger of bolting in this cool climate, it means that I can keep it growing for a pretty long time, and that even when it gets warm, they're less likely to bolt quickly. So I'm going to grow arugula because I love the taste of it in salads, on sandwiches, and I think it's a great, beautiful looking crop as well. With spinach, I'm growing this Teton hybrid. Okay. This is called Teton hybrid spinach. I don't really know much about this one. This is actually just a seed packet that we had here. So for no particular reason, I'm choosing to grow this Teton hybrid. But another great one to grow is, you may have heard about this one before, but this is called Bloomsdale Long Standing. This is a very popular spinach variety, and it's also cheap because you can find this easily in the Dollar Tree for 50 cents. Right now, I know their seeds are going for $4.50, but don't worry about that. You can go up there and they ring it up for 50 cents. Every single packet rings up at 50 cents. You don't have to buy three, just buy what you need, okay? Now, when it comes to lettuces, I already told you about my arugula, but I also like to grow for color as well. I like when I look at my garden and I see a variety of not just green leaves, not just a variety of shapes, but some color in there as well. So, for that reason, I have some specially ordered seeds that I got last year. This one is called Red Romaine. This one I can't wait to grow because they'll grow in small heads and they'll have some beautiful leaf colors. That's going to be one of the types I grow. But I'm also going to try this pink lettuce called Loloroso. So if you look at this packet here, again, I ordered this online on Etsy from a store called Seed Cult. But I'm growing this pink leaf lettuce. And I don't think I've seen pink leaf lettuce before. So I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I actually might try this in the hydroponic uh, container. For my herbs, cilantro, scallions, and also for another leafy green that I'm growing, pak choi. I'm sorry, I don't have a picture. The pictures are fun, but I don't have a picture. Pak choi is a very nutrient dense vegetable. I think it's nutrient dense. Pak choi is a very delicious vegetable. It's great stir fried. I love it in Asian cuisine, and I do make a lot of different Asian dishes, Asian inspired dishes. So pak choi is a really good one, and I also think it just looks really pretty as a plant, you know. So I'm gonna try this out. I've never grown it before, but I'm excited to see what it does. Another option for winter crops are your root vegetables. Now, you can go with a radish. There's three different varieties that I have that I'm going to be trying out, which is going to be this early scarlet globe variety. But then there's also these cherry bells, which are cute. They kind of remind me of cherry tomatoes. And then there is this really pretty French breakfast. And these are more of an elongated shape. You can have a harvest in about 3.5 weeks when it comes to radishes. So while you're waiting for some of your other crops, radishes are going to give you something to look forward to and give you that satisfaction of harvesting something pretty quickly. Also, Detroit red beets are good, but you have to just manage your expectations. Remember that root development is slower in the wintertime, so we're not expecting the full size, a full size beet. You can still grow them. Just manage your expectations with it and water accordingly. You'll be fine. You'll do fine. All right, and I'm going to throw this one in here for the people who are very new to gardening and really want to see something grow, really don't aren't interested in the waiting game too much. There are always microgreens. I picked up this packet of microgreens from Dollar Tree. Okay, this is a packet that will give you a harvest in 7 to 10 business days. Listen, they're not playing over here. Less than 2 weeks, you can have microgreens ready to harvest, and you can throw them on salads. You can put it on sandwiches. There's a lot you can do with microgreens. Now, I will add a note here to say these are not greens that you want to grow to full size and eat. They can be bitter, they can be woody. So these are not seeds that you want to sprout into full vegetables and eat. You want to let them grow, and at the 7 to 10 day mark, just like they said, that's when you want to harvest them. But microgreens are good for a fast harvest. It's good for beginners. It's also great for kids too. It's a fun project because kids, if you sow a carrot seed, them kids gonna forget about them carrots, okay? If you sow some microgreens, you'll see when they first sprout and you'll see them get bigger. And that's why microgreens I recommend as even just a project for kids to get them interested in gardening and having a fun time with it, and then being able to eat their greens. All right, you guys, that just about does it for me. The sun has gone down, and I already told you when the sun goes down, this room gets cold, so it's time for me to go in. If you liked the video, please give it a like, hit subscribe if you would like to see more content like this from me, and drop a comment because I love to engage. If you're on Threads, catch me at Outdoor Homegirl on Threads so that way we can connect. And till then, I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.